I call this regular meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission to order. Roll call. Calvert. Hassler.
Yep.
Hofstra.
Here.
Jackson. Lemieux.
Here.
Ledke.
Here?
Romano.
Yep.
Shalinski.
Here.
I too am present. With that, we have quorum. So we have, first item here is approval of the minutes of July 10th, 2025. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I make a motion to approve.
Have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the minutes are approved. So this evening, we have 3 items of business. I'm going to ask someone to make a motion to move old business 3 to following new business.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Questions or comments on that motion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so the old business will come after new business. So we have 2 new public hearings this evening. If you think you're going to speak on either of those items, please stand now, raise your right hand, we'll get you sworn in, it only takes a second. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will give in these proceedings is the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so we will start with, in all these cases, we will start with staff presentation, and then presentation from the petitioner if they have one. Then we will have public comment, if there is any this evening. We will have questions from the commission, and then discussion amongst the commission. Following the questions, the petitioner will have an opportunity to close if they wish, then discussion up here and a motion if necessary. So we will start with our first item, which is PZ 2511-5, 5 West Madison Avenue variation. Whenever you're ready.
5 West Madison is requesting a variation from section 9.2.2 for allowed fence height and locations to permit a 5-foot tall fence with an open style in their front yard instead of a 4-foot tall open style fence. I'll go over a summary of their request, allow for the petitioner to make any comments, allow for questions from the commission, hold a public hearing, and then return to the commission for discussion and motion if appropriate. As mentioned, the petitioner would like to build a 5-foot tall open style fence in the front yard of their corner lot to have additional usable yard space for their children and dogs. This proposed fence would continue along their existing side fence line. They are requesting a variation from section 9.2.2 as mentioned to allow that 5-foot tall fence. This section would permit a 4-foot tall fence by right. The fence would not encroach on any required visibility triangles, and the style is in compliance with regulations for fences within their front yard. On the right-hand side, you can see the current fence that they have on their property. The proposed fence would match the existing fence in style. So on the site plan to the left, you can see their existing, if I can get my mouse to work with me, the existing fence is in yellow along their side and rear lot lines returning to their garage. They're requesting a variation for the red dashed fence to enclose additional portion of their yard. As you can see, their side and rear yard is minimal due to the location of their side of their house. It being a corner, their front yard is the side facing Ardmore. However, their house is orientated so that it faces Madison. On the screen are the standards for a review and approval of a variation. We will hold a public hearing if there are any public comments. And then staff has prepared a sample motion if the commission feels it is appropriate. And with that, staff or the petitioner can answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Does the petitioner have anything they would like to say this evening? If so, I mean, we'll probably have questions, but feel free to come up to the dais, to the lectern, state your name, and go if you would like.
Would you like me to do that?
Yeah, if you'd like. Yeah, now would be the time for that. Yeah, just state your name for the record, and then we're on video, so try to speak into the mic as best as you can, please.
Okay, my name is Ryan Nudd, N-U-D-D, and I don't have any additional comments.
Okay.
But if you guys have any questions.
Yeah, we
feel free.
may, so we'll see. If you just want to have a seat nearby, if we have got any questions, we'll let you know. All right, anyone from the public wishing to speak on this agenda item? All right, seeing none. Any questions from the commission?
I just had one. I wanted to clarify again that the new fence would take off, it would start at the northeast corner of the house and continue in line with the line of the house, the north face of the house. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay, so there's a substantial setback from the sidewalk. It appears it's about 25 feet.
correct.
Okay, thank you.
And then from the east property line, the fence is offset about 4 feet from the sidewalk along Ardmore, and that's to allow for the applicant to place landscaping between the fence and the sidewalk in that location.
Thank you.
And is that a matching 5-foot fence as that one?
Correct.
Is there, I understand, I certainly understand the wanting to match what's existing there, but is there any other reason? You have a dog, is that what it is? You have a large breed dog that kind of,
Yeah, we actually have two dogs, a black lab and then a Belgian Malinois. The Belgian Malinois can certainly get over a 4-foot fence, so having it 5 foot would not only protect the public, but give her some more yard to run around.
I hope they're friendly. I mean, kids are still going to stick their little fingers in those.
She is very friendly, yes, she is friendly.
Yeah, I like that it's 4 foot off the sidewalk for that reason.
Yeah, I didn't notice that when I was initially looking at the packet, but any other questions from the commission?
No, I just think, given the fact that we got a, 99-foot right-of-way there, and we're pretty far off with the, with that parkway. Granted, when you're walking on the sidewalk, but given that buffer between the fence and the sidewalk, I think that's gonna help sort of minimize that impact. And obviously, it's as open as can be. I don't really see too much of an issue.
Okay.
I agree with,
I just always find it confusing and almost humorous that I understand why we call Ardmore the front yard, but the address is on Madison Avenue.
Right.
Isn't that not the front of the house?
No, so the front is determined by the
I
narrowest.
understand how it's
Yeah,
determined.
I get it. And I think in this instance, most people try to they would like their address off of the street that their
Yeah, the
front door
faces.
faces. Correct. And so I've seen in my past instances where this would have a South Ardmore
Yeah, I've
address.
seen where people put a sign on the side of their house because you
Yeah.
would never find their house.
Right.
Yeah, and from an ordinance standpoint, there are a number of different ways to do it, and all of them have potential drawbacks, like, that you could have it be the address, but there are going to be situations where that creates odd lots, especially on some corner lots like this. There are communities that allow you to declare your front yard, and then that becomes the front yard. I believe that's the way the city of Chicago does it. It's like, so, but like in this one, you're still gonna have the odd-shaped lot and the setbacks and such, but somebody down here seemed like they had a question. Did I?
I think I'm good, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, through this conversation, I'm good.
Yeah, okay.
I wanted to add on to Eric's comment and note that the property has parkways that are approaching or exceeding 300% the size of a typical parkway, which would be another reason to allow this variation. It's, the setback is well beyond the allowable fence height if it were to be a 4-foot fence as well. And then it should also be noted that this intersection has 4-way stop signs. So there's really no danger to pedestrians or to cars, given the location and given this fence size. So as long as people are abiding by stop signs, which I know sometimes they don't on Ardmore.
Also of note, mentioning the intersection, there is a code requirement that fences would need to be outside the visibility triangle. At an intersection, it's 20 feet in both directions from the corner of the property line. The petitioner's site plan does show that line, and you can see the corner of the fence at the closest portion is still well outside of that visibility triangle.
Yes, it does appear that the owner has taken into account the intent of the ordinance at least.
All right. Any other questions before we move on? Okay. Any closing comments from the petitioner?
Nothing, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, discussion amongst the commission. So we've had some discussion. I concur with most of what I'm hearing. In terms of a variation, these corner lots, as we've seen, that are these rotated corner lots create issues with fences, with backyards. We've had the one on the southeast part of town with the pool. Where this is actually a very similar lot, just mirrored in terms of the corner it was on. But this one in particular, the house is even set further back into the corner than a lot of these that we see. I can't read the dimensions on that from the setbacks, but,
Looks like it's 40.
40.
well, I'm talking about it from the southwest corner. But it's very close to the southwest corner of the property line. There's no interior side yard,
Yeah.
or I guess, and no rear yard, whichever way you want to think about it. This is really the only
front
usable yard on the property. It's all front yard or
Front side yard.
street facing side yard, yeah. So I have no issues with it. I think the variation, the hardship in that case with the lot configuration makes sense. So is there if there's other discussion? If not, then I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to recommend approval of PZ-25-11 for a variation from section 9.2.2, allowed fence heights and locations to permit a 5-foot tall, open-style fence in the front yard at 5 West Madison, as depicted in Exhibits A and B.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Have a second. Any questions or comments on the motion? Okay, roll call vote. Hassler?
Yes.
Hofstra?
Yes.
Lemieux?
Yes.
Budke?
Yes.
Romano?
Yes.
Schlinsky?
Yes.
I too vote yes, and with that, our recommendation will pass the village board, and they're the final decision makers on the matter. Good luck. Thank you. Okay, our next item of business is PZ 2515 for 10 South Charles Avenue. This is a variation as well.
Sorry.
Whenever you're, no, that's fine. Are you ready, Michelle?
Yes.
Yes, whenever you're ready.
So this case is 10 South Charles Avenue. We previously reviewed this property. Tonight, they're back requesting several variations, which I'll outline in a minute. And these variations are to install a detached garage for the existing single-family residence. So I'll go over a summary of their variation requests, allow for the petitioner to make any comments, allow for any clarifying questions from the commission, hold a public hearing, and then commission discussion and motion if appropriate. This lot is currently zoned mixed-use transitional or MXT and is used as a single dwelling home. the petitioners would like to build a detached garage on the property in a location that would not be permitted per MXT. There's currently a detached single-family garage or detached garage on the property, however, it's in poor condition, so they're looking to demolish that garage and build a new one. To do so, they would be requesting 3 variations from what staff has seen. The code has some mixed overlapping requirements, so we went ahead and noted all variations just to cover all the bases for this proposed garage. So the first is a variation from section 4.4.3, general building, to permit a rear yard setback of 5 feet instead of 40 feet rear yard setback because it does abut a RS zoning district on the south side. A variation from section 4.4.3 to permit a garage entrance not on the rear facade. And then a variation from 6.10.3 for a non-residential accessory structure to permit a rear and interior side yard setback of 5 feet instead of 10 feet. On the screen is the site plan of the property. In yellow is the proposed garage. You can see it's 5 feet setback from the northwest corner of the property. My interpretation of the MXT district is that this was anticipated to be more of a larger development zoning requirements, and so the rear entrance was for a larger building. Obviously, this is a single dwelling home in that zoning district where a rear yard without an alley doesn't make sense for this property. On the screen are the variation requirements and standards to consider the proposed request against. We will hold a public hearing, and then the staff has proposed or provided a sample motion if the commission feels it is appropriate. And with that, the petitioner or staff can answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Does the petitioner have any presentation or anything they want to add to that? Okay. All right. Any public comment on this agenda item? Right. Seeing no one, questions from the commission?
No additional.
No, obviously, we saw this last month, and sort of our suggestion to sort of come back with this option, achieving the same goal at the end of the particular project. I appreciate this approach in keeping the lot MXT sort of in the potential for whatever might happen along this stretch of St. Charles with the TIF and the comp plan in place. So this, I have no issues at all with any of these variances. It
Yeah.
just seem pretty minimal considering what we're, trying to do.
Yeah, I agree. And we're kind of mixing questions and comments and discussion, and that's fine because there were no questions on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, we reviewed it last time. The MXT zoning here makes more sense for a number of reasons. Moving away from that, especially in the light of the recency of the comp plan, didn't make sense. In this particular case, looking at the variation, we've got the issues with the way the code is written for the MXT districts where it, even though it permits single-family homes, the way the code for the accessory structures is worded, it doesn't really envision single-family homes with detached garages, so that creates a little bit of a conflict and certainly the hardship from a code standpoint. Any other discussion?
Appreciate that petitioner and staff were willing to work together along
Yes.
from the recommendation of this commission. I think this is a fine plan. Thank you both, or thank you all. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think it definitely benefits the applicant in the short term and potentially the village in the long term. At a minimum, it preserves the vision and the goal of the comprehensive plan for this this subject property.
Meets the spirit.
Yep. All right, if there's no other discussion and no closing comments from the petitioner, then I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion to recommend approval of PZ 2509 for a variation from section 4.4.3, general building, to permit a rear yard setback of 5 feet instead of 40 feet. A variation from section 4.4.3, general building, to permit a garage entrance not on the rear facade. And a variation from section 6.10.3, non-residential accessory structure, to permit a rear and interior side yard setback of 5 feet instead of 10 feet.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
The second, questions or comments on the motion? Okay, roll call vote. Hassler?
Yes.
Hofstra?
Yes.
Lemieux?
Yes.
Ledke?
Yes.
Romano?
Yes.
Schlinsky?
Yes.
I too vote yes. With that, our recommendation passes to the village board. So our remaining item is the open public hearing for PZ 25-09 for 10 South Charles zoning map amendment. It's my understanding that that application is going to be withdrawn. Is that accurate? Okay, then what I'm going to do is reopen the public hearing on that. There's no need for anybody to be sworn in. I
Oh.
don't think,
Actually, Jason, I want to interject real quick before
Yeah.
you do that. Looking at the agenda, the the motion that was recommended referenced PZ 2515-09. That would have been the old business, so I believe that I need to make an amended motion.
Please.
Oh, on the
for
previous
new
item?
business,
Okay.
to be new business for number 10. So I would like to make an amended motion to recommend approval of PZ 2510 for a variation from section 4.4.3, general building, to permit a rear yard setback of 5 feet.
believe it should
15.
be PZ 15.
The address is
Oh, 15. 10 is the
Oh,
address.
sorry.
amended.
PZ 2515,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
For a variation from section 4.4.3, general building, to permit a rear yard setback of 5 feet instead of 40 feet. A variation from section 4.4.3, general building, to permit a garage entrance not on the rear facade. And a variation from section 6.10.3, non-residential accessory structures, to permit a rear and interior side yard setback of 5 feet instead of 10 feet.
okay, so motion was amended.
I'll second it a second.
Okay, and we're just going to run a roll call on that again to be safe. Hassler?
Yes.
Hofstra?
Yes.
Lemieux?
Yes.
Ledke?
Yes.
Romano?
Yes.
Schlinsky?
Yes.
I too vote yes. Okay, so on this new item, we'll reopen that public hearing. Just have you on the record, confirm that you're withdrawing, then we'll,
You mind coming up to the microphone?
yeah, so I'm reopening the public hearing, so just state your name again for the record. We don't need to have you sworn in, you're still sworn in from the previous session.
Estela Unzueta, asking that my petition for zoning map amendment be withdrawn.
Okay, I appreciate that, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions about that or discussion?
No.
Okay, unless there's objection from the commission, then I will consider the application withdrawn. Okay, public hearing on that item is closed. Thank you. All right, any public comments on non-agenda items?
Hi, guys.
Good evening.
Donna Knoxon, just wanted to take time out to thank you guys for your knowledge, your dedication, and mostly your time and your time away from your family. I did not want any of you to go unnoticed or thanked. So on my behalf, I want to thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Anyone else wanting to speak on non-agenda items? Yeah, please.
I'd like to say that I'm very proud of our Planning and Zoning Board, and I'm saddened by the fact that some of you will not be working with us. And I have been touched over the years by your consistency, your commitment, and your care for our village. That's about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, any comments from staff this evening? New business? Updates on old business? All right, commissioner comments. I'm going to keep this kind of formal. If anybody has anything they want to say, I'm going to start on my right with Commissioner Lemieux. No comment this evening?
No comment.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Ledke?
I have nothing this evening.
Okay. Commissioner Romano?
I would just like to be on the record for this, that it's been a pleasure working with you gentlemen for the years now, 8 years. I got into this just out of civic duty. It was an interest to me. I have no background in architecture or village design or anything. I'm a village resident, just a guy, a businessman from the city. It's been my utmost pleasure through multiple development directors and everything else that we've gone through, the whirlwind of that. I really find it important, as I've been following what's been going on in the village, to just state that our elected officials are elected to do a job, and they're to do the best job they can, and they make the decisions based on that. I think there is a story to be told in how they carry out those duties and their plans. The fact that we were never approached, talked to, discussed. Thank you for thanking us tonight. I appreciate that. The amount, I can count on one hand, the amount of village officials that have come, the village board specifically has come to these meetings and seen what we have done. It's a shame that this is the way that, I speak for myself only, that my tenure ends serving this village. It's an unfortunate lesson learned. I'm right now a little upset about it, but it is discouraging, and I hope that better decisions are made going forward. Thank you.
Commissioner Hofstra?
Well, I too express my appreciation for the gentleman I served with. It's been informative. This is the first time I've served in a role like this in a village and given my time, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I learned a lot, despite all our turmoil. I'm along with Dominic. I'm a little disappointed at how this all transpired. But the powers that be were elected, so let them do what they want. We can speak at the next election.
All right, and to our newest commissioner.
I'll just add that as the newest commissioner and the shortest term here, I'm disappointed that I didn't get to serve you guys longer.
Yeah, we are too.
Yeah.
Commissioner Schlensky?
Thank you. Given that it is my last meeting as a commissioner on planning and zoning, I'd like to take this time to address my fellow commissioners, the recently ousted
I
commissioners.
just want to make sure you've got a mic in front of you.
That's a great point. Thank you. Start over. Given that it's my last meeting as commissioner on planning and zoning, I'd like to take this time to address my fellow commissioners, the recently ousted commissioners from several other commissions, staff, and finally the Board of Trustees. My fellow commissioners, I'm very proud of the time spent with you all and those that you may have replaced that I had the privilege to serve with. These appointed positions were entrusted upon us based upon each of us possessing a unique set of skills, experiences, and expertise. While we may not have always agreed upon the outcomes of the petitions brought before us, we diligently reviewed, prepared, and opined based upon sound reasoning. I fear that our ability to act diplomatically is not shared by the majority of the current Board of Trustees, and for that, our village collectively suffers. It is with sincere gratitude that I thank you all for your commitment to this village and its residents and businesses. And a special thanks is owed to our chair, Jason Jarrett. Jason, you've served this commission and our village quite well. You lead with experience, expertise, and respect, and provided a diplomatic calm, which our current Board of Trustees could use lessons in. So, for that, thank you. And to the numerous now former commissioners that were ousted from their positions based upon an ordinance from President Kevin Patrick and voted out by Trustees Alfano, Kozar, and Sabri, you deserve better. As a former commissioner and a chair of the now-defunct Environmental Concerns Commission, I firsthand know the level of commitment that you provided to this village. Villa Park will suffer without these volunteers, and no matter how much gaslighting comes from the president or the board members, please know that I recognize your value and contributions, and again, you deserved better. To the staff that have had to put up with us, Patrick Grill, Consuelo Arguelles, Ellen Weber, Mark McLaughlin, Michelle House, Rachel Dadam, if I pronounced that correctly. Leadham, thank you. And others that I've discussed petitions and plans with, I will always appreciate your commitment to presenting objective, factual information. Your jobs are not easy, but necessary for this village to not only survive, but also progress. Please know that you are appreciated. To former Presidents Bolthuis and Cazone, thank you for dutifully serving as liaisons and actually showing up to our meetings. And more importantly, thank you for respecting and recognizing this commission was entrusted to provide recommendations to the village board and not be beholden to it. Which leads me to my final points. We, the people, residents, and businesses of Villa Park deserve better than our current president and board, and we have options. We can plan and organize. We can find and champion better candidates and leaders, and we can find advocates instead of opportunists. We can use our voices and our votes at the next election cycle and cycles to come to return the favor to Patrick, Alfano, Kozar, and Sabri, and I'm confident that we will. They're banking on us having short-term memories and getting this done so early into Patrick's first and hopefully only term as village president that in a year and a half we'll simply forget about all the former commissions and the outright disrespectful way that we've been treated and cast aside without so much as a thank you. But I know better, and I know that we won't forget. And now on to Kevin Patrick, who sought to remind us engaging in public comment to be respectful and not direct personal attacks. I ask you that you align with your own requests and discontinue your hypocrisy. During his president's report over the last several meetings, Kevin has lodged personal attacks against current and former board members and former staff. And as a resident and taxpayer of Villa Park, I'm deeply troubled by how close Kevin has come to crossing the line, if not crossing it entirely, to committing acts of defamation. I, for one, do not want my tax dollars spent defending any claims that Kevin may cause in his inability to exercise restraint. He needs to grow thicker skin and realize that just because he was elected president, he is not entitled to only be showered in compliments. We, the people, deserve better than hypocrisy and mediocrity. So, Kevin, I challenge you. I challenge you to refrain from any further personal attacks against any current or former trustees, current or former staff, or residents that may call you out on your behaviors and actions. It is time to practice what you preach instead of gaslighting this village. Because as I've said before, we deserve better.
Thank you. All right. When I mailed my paper application to then President Stupija all those years ago, I didn't know where my journey of civic engagement would take me. I certainly did not have tonight's final meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission on my itinerary, but here we are. I would like to start by thanking our board liaisons. We could always count on you to be there in the back corner, where Donna's sitting over there, acting as a conduit between our commission and the village board. You were supportive of our methods even when you disagreed with our recommendations, and you never attempted to influence the process. For that, we are grateful. And where would we be without staff, past and present? The relationship between the Planning and Zoning Commission and Community Development staff has always been an intricately woven one. We relied on you to manage applicants and to provide volumes of essential information, often on the fly, and you always delivered. To the incoming members of the Zoning Board of Appeals and Plan Commission, I hope you will strive to build your own relationship with staff. I encourage you to make that relationship a collaborative one rather than a combative one. You will get much more accomplished in our village if you do. I would also like to thank all the members of the Planning and Zoning Commission that I've had the pleasure of serving with during my tenure. In addition to the fine commissioners up here this evening who have made my role as chair an easy one, I would like to thank Tom Davis, Dan Kordick, Jay Reese, Dan Veer, Vince Gatto, Greg Hassler, Morgan Rickel, Linda Bello, Chris Sherland, Jacqueline Enga, Mike Orlowski, Ken Jackson, and Larry Calvert. Finally, I would like to thank Robin Whitehurst for his many years of service as the chair of this commission. I have been on the other side of the dais before many boards and commissions, and I have seen few better than Robin. He was an efficient and effective chair who created an environment where dialogue and debate were encouraged, but order was expected. Through example, he showed that it was possible to disagree passionately on policy while remaining respectful of everyone in the room, whether it be fellow commissioners, staff, or residents. I did my best to take that torch and carry it forward. As the newly appointed chairs pick up the gavel before their commissions, I hope you look back at past public hearings and strive for the same thoughtful deliberation in every action you take. Commissioners will be looking to you to set the tone and residents, business owners, and developers will make decisions about whether or not to invest in our community based on the predictability of the process you foster. Clearly, I am passionate about land use policy, particularly as it relates to the community I call home. So if any of you have questions during this time of transition or after, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I'm not going anywhere. And with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn the final meeting of the Villa Park Planning and Zoning Commission.
I'd like to make that motion to adjourn.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'd like to second that motion.
Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.